I'm Louise, this is Danielle, this is Patrick, and this is Perry. Thank you so much for being here today. In today's presentation, we'll address the cultural challenges of Becton Dickinson's that they have to overcome to capitalize on the new growth opportunities in the medical industry. And now Danielle is going to go through the agenda of the presentation.
So here's our agenda. First, we're going to go over the first issue, which is the internal company culture. Then we will go over issue number 2, which is the transnational strategy. After, we will propose the solution for number 1 and propose solution number 2. And then we will end with our recommendation and conclusion and Q&A.
So the first issue involves company culture, which is very consensus driven. Having a culture where everyone agrees and where it's not allowed to be confrontational can prevent constructive feedback and debates that can create new ideas. Another issue with the company culture is that they're very risk averse in their decision making. They prefer to have lower risk. They prefer low returns with known risk and higher return than higher returns and unknown risk. An example of that is that the company, they tend to focus on expanding their product line instead of focusing on more riskier and more innovative new ideas. So the company needs to go away from that and not focus on expanding the product line, but instead focusing on products and business opportunities that are not in the core competencies. The company also uses bureaucratic processes which are designed to maintain control and consistency within the company. Having these bureaucratic processes will result in inefficiency and redundancy instead of having more lean processes that are more efficient and are more open to change. And the last challenge in the company culture is that it focuses too much on short-term financial results and meeting budgets. By doing this, they're undercutting the long-term investments in products and business development. So to summarize, BD, having their consensus-driven culture, including risk-averse decision-making, bureaucratic processes, and short-term financial results, prevents them from really pursuing innovation and growth. To be more innovative and to take the advantage of new business opportunities, they need to take more risk when they develop their products and when they conduct their business. And now I'm gonna give it on to Patrick, who will talk about the second issue.
So the second issue that we thought BD had was their implementation of a transnational strategy. So when they implemented the strategy, they don't really consider any other factors. They're just selling their products. So when they're selling the products, they don't think of the cultural differences. And these cultural differences could be anything from failing to recognize consumer needs, U.S. employees in top positions, standardized processes and procedures, and traditional medicine market in Asia. So when BD decided to go international, they came up with a plan to do an R&D function, but BD's domestic strengths didn't even lay in research and development, they laid in operations. So if they can't succeed in it domestically, what makes them think that they can succeed in it internationally? So some cultural factors they need to consider are the failure to recognize consumer needs. So in Western medicine, we are much more advanced than Asian medicine. And in companies like China, it's more government regulated. So when something is government regulated, they're less adverse to change and less likely to accept outside Western help. For two other factors are U.S. employees in top positions and standardized products and processes. So they need to hire a local executive from, let's say, China to help them implement these new products and processes, because right now a US executive is leading them, but he doesn't necessarily know about the cultural differences, whereas a local executive would know. So they would know if BD had a new medical device, they would need to know how to get it through the government. A local executive would be able to help them do that. And the last cultural factor they fail to think of is the cultural differences in medicine between the two countries. So in countries like China, they have a traditional medicine as well as modern medicine. So, and these traditional medicines, they're more for the poor population, while the modern medicine is more for the richer population. And so in China, there's a lot more poor people than there are richer people. And for the traditional medicine market in Asia, they don't have a need for medical devices. And now Perry will go over our proposed solution number 1.
The first proposed solution is to provide 2-day workshops to address cultural issues within the company. Since the company is so consensus-driven, not a lot of employees they feel they are not comfortable to express their own opinions, and they intend to avoid confrontation with their managers and even their coworkers when it's needed. This workshop will include a team competition, which we will ask the executives and managers to participate with the employees. The purpose of the workshop is to encourage employees to speak up and encourage them to showcase their competency and skills to upper management. The role of managers and executives is to educate and help the employees with decision-making skills. This will help them feel more comfortable in evaluating and taking risks when it comes to decision making. During the workshop, we would encourage employees to look at the bigger picture and focus on long-term goals instead of short-term goals, such as meeting the financial budget. The company would, we recommend the company to give bonus to employees who constantly and continue to make progress each year. This would encourage them to look at the bigger picture and plan everything ahead. Furthermore, we also recommend BD should adapt decentralized control in the company, because employees will have more flexibility to accomplish long-term goal more efficiently. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about acquisition. There's a high chance that transformative acquisitions would fail because the cultural differences between two companies. We recommend to invite employees from 2 different companies to attend the workshop to work together as a team. The purpose is to make sure both companies are on the same page and also introduce their company's culture to each other. We also believe BD should acquire business in various industries because new acquisitions mean new market. Through acquisitions, BD would have to integrate 2 different industries to make a profitable business. And this will also lead to the expansion of business sector. To expand successfully, companies have to strengthen their R&D and other aspects. This would encourage and push employees to be more creative and innovative. These solutions will improve the company's ability to increase growth and innovation. And then now I'm going to talk about solution 2.
So the second proposed solution, first we need to focus on the consumer needs. In order to focus on consumer needs, extensive geological research must be taking place to gain a better understanding of the local environment. To accomplish this, next, recognizing cultural tendencies such as language, time orientation, religion, interpersonal space, and political insights will help tailor products and services to the local markets. This will definitely help bridge the cross-cultural gap within the company and to help, I guess, get a better understanding of the local environment. And to create a more diverse system within the company, it is important to start hiring local executives. So to help gain new and diverse ideas, it would be imperative to hire local employees because their ideas can cater to the local environment. BD wants a diverse staff so they could generate new innovative ideas. So first we need to hire people that can relate to the community. Next, cultural adaptability is very important because when you start hiring new employees that are unfamiliar within the culture, you need to have patience, flexibility, and willingness to, and acceptance of different customs. So with patience, consumers are able to, and individuals who are able to gradually take the time to adapt to the new culture, and flexibility allows the individual to easily adapt, to be easily modified. Additionally, accepting of culture differences is very important because it helps bridge the cross-cultural gap. Now finally, the final step is to have willingness to change. A company, they cannot expect different results if they keep doing the exact same thing over and over again. They need to take risks and they need to challenge the company to create different outcomes. So it is important to step out of the comfort zone and make a change in order to figure out the company's full potential. And now, Patrick will go over the conclusion and recommendations.
So in this presentation, we went over two issues. We went over an internal company culture issue, and we went over a transnational strategy issue. In the internal company culture issue, we went over problems such as a risk-adverse decision-making, a lack of creative thinking, and a short-term financial focus. And the transnational strategy, we focus on problems such as a focus on customer needs, their lack of knowledge in between differences in government, their lack of a plan to hire local executives, and a lack in the differences of medical cultures between the two countries. So we recommended two solutions. One was a 2-day training program, which focused on the consumer's weaknesses, on BD's weaknesses. And then the second solution was a multi-domestic strategy. We recommend that that BD adopts a multi-domestic strategy because mostly because of the goodness and the cultural adaptability in foreign markets. Because when you study a culture, you learn more about it, and then you can mold products to fit the consumer need, which would increase consumer adaptation. Then this would also lead to innovations outside the home country. This would lead to revenue growth and profit. And finally, the focus on cultural adaptability in foreign markets could also translate to help domestically in situations such as the carefree acquisition. Because when the culture is not just a cross-country issue, it's also a cross-company issue. So when you combine two companies, when BD acquired Hair Fusion, they lost most of the executive team right after the acquisition. So they need to be able to integrate those executives because those executives were part of a bigger picture for BD, because BD wanted to have a whole medical solution. So that's why we chose this recommendation.
Good, thanks, guys.